What's up, guys? My name's A.N.S Suarez, and today this is the second A.N.S Podcast. We have a kind of updated layout now. Now you have all my social media contacts below me here, starting with my Twitter, then my Facebook page, which if you go facebook.com/AntonSuarez1, then you'll get to my Facebook, and then my Instagram, which I do post some things there, here and there on that as well. So the first article we're going to talk about today is Chip. Chip, if you haven't heard of it before, was a $9 computer that was put on Kickstarter. Now, this Kickstarter gained over $2 million, and now that it was backed a little bit ago, people are now getting the first Chip computers. And the whole thing about Chip is that it's a $9 computer, a competitor to Raspberry Pi, because how cheap it is. It's cheaper than the Raspberry Pi, as the Raspberry Pi usually averages $40, and then all the accessories probably comes out to $100 if you really want a Raspberry Pi with all the gadgets you really need with it. Obviously, this will have peripherals as well eventually, different add-ons you can add. You probably could solder on your own add-ons at the moment with this too, but it really is amazing. So what you get with Chip, you get a 1 gigahertz ARM8 ARM processor, you get 4 gigabytes of internal solid-state storage, and you get 512 megabytes of RAM. Now, I still think this is better than some computers we used to get like in the 2000s, early 2000s, 90s. Oh my god. But very, very good. You get integrated Wi-Fi, audio input and output, Bluetooth and USB port, and video output. So it's a very, very full-fledged kind of mini computer, and I love mini computers, and I did get a comment on the last A.N.S Podcast because I was talking about different things with Raspberry Pis, but I love mini computers because of the applications you can do with them and the ability to put a computer in a place where a computer was not thought of being before, behind a screen, in a storefront, in different spaces where there aren't computers. And to get that run under $9 is awesome. And with the power of Linux, which is free and open source and amazing, you can actually make something amazing out of it. So very cool with the Chip computer. I highly recommend that, and I'll probably actually purchase one when they get off pre-order, because I did sign up. If you go to their website, I think you type in Chip PC or Chip Thin Client, you'll be able to get that, and you can go and look at that. So the next article we're going to be talking about is Chromecast audio. Now, as you know, Chromecast is what makes kind of dumb TVs smart, and this is the same thing now for your speakers. If you have an old speaker that only has AUX and not Bluetooth or some other wireless peripheral where you can connect it to, this is your answer. Chromecast audio allows you to basically Chromecast audio to a analog speaker or a older speaker. Now, in the article, they talk about different things, and I really do like this. I like Engadget with their articles. We have 2 articles from Engadget today. In the article, they talk about the Sonos speakers, and the Sonos is I'll even click the link, why not, is a $500 speaker, which only uses AUX and is supposed to go into your home theater, and really isn't supposed to connect to Bluetooth or anything, but Chromecast audio is supposed to solve that problem, like it did with televisions with the Chromecast, because, okay, I have a TV that's not smart TV, but I have an HDMI port, I can connect a Chromecast up and be able to stream Chrome tabs. It was amazing, and now this is going to be amazing for those speakers that aren't Bluetooth compatible, and you have a really, really nice speaker that's a little bit dated, only has an AUX port, no Bluetooth, and then you can hook it up with Chromecast audio, and like the TV, now you have a smart speaker where you can plug Chromecast music to from Google Play or any music output from your device. Now, the one problem, the other articles I was reading that's not included here, is that this is not supporting Apple Music at the time. At the time of this recording, it's not supporting Apple Music. Who knows if you're in the future, it probably might. So the next article you probably heard of is the botnet that has been striking Linux. So this is security firm discovers botnet that hits with 150 gigabytes per second DDoS attack. Now, this is about Akami, a security intelligence response team, discovered this on Tuesday, and they announced it on Tuesday. They have known about this for the past year, but it really hasn't been an effect in. So it's mostly targeting companies in Asia where it's hitting educational sites, it's hitting gambling sites, things like that, but it has the ability to take over your computer. So what it does is, and I'll even kind of read a little bit off this article here, the malware infects Linux systems via embedded devices, so network routers, and then it will brute force into SSH, and once it gets SSH privileges, then it starts to install all the botnet software, and then you're part of the Hive, and it connects you to the Hive. Now, this means you're a member of the Hive. The targets of this Hive, which is a DDoS Hive or a network of computers that that are able to target website servers to take them down. Now, what's special about this, and this is called XOR GDOS, that's the code name for it. What's special about this is it has the ability to send only a couple megabytes to the website, or it can send 150 gigabytes per second a minute to the website to disrupt it. And 150 gigabytes per second, number one, I don't know how it's going to get to the computer at the server target. It might be able to, but I don't know how 150 gigabytes per second will be able to reach it in the current infrastructure of America, or I don't know, current infrastructure anywhere in the world. But I guess if it is a server grade connection, it probably will if the computer is infected. Now, once it hits it, that website's going to go down instantly. I don't think, maybe really, really top level high companies who have the security to block something like that, but 150 gigabytes per second is a lot of data to go through, and to have it all come at your server at once, it will really destroy it. So if you don't know what a DDoS attack is, a DDoS attack is, and I'll use the city bus analogy for this. So the city bus analogy is that you use the city bus every day. Now, every day, 15 people get on to go to work. A DDoS attack is equivalent to those 15 people being behind a group of 30 people who don't need to take the bus. They go on the bus because they're told to go on the bus, so the 15 people can't get on. That's the main thing. It's fake traffic, so it's fake people. Those 30 people were paid to get on the bus, and then the 15 people who really do have to go to work can't get on the bus now because it's filled. So that's a DDoS attack. It's fake traffic hitting a website, but it's hitting a website so fast that it causes it to crash. It can't handle 150 gigabytes per second of data and information to come through at once. It's supposed to handle maybe a couple thousand members or viewers, or not a lot of data. So that's what a DDoS attack really is. I hope this is solved soon. There at the bottom of the article, it says if you have a Linux rig, we're advised to take the existing security implementations and harden them accordingly. I'm not sure of what to fix at the moment. You can do your own research, and maybe I'll even put a link in the description below for what we really have to do to prevent any attack on our own Linux rigs. So in last week's A.N.S Podcast, we did talk a lot about Microsoft's Linux, and now we're going to go a little bit more in depth with that as we have new information. Now, Microsoft launches its big data service running Linux. So Microsoft has partnered up with Canonical, and they did this because of many reasons, including to get back at Red Hat. Red Hat and Microsoft hate each other, basically. They're arch rivals, according to the article, and I believe that as well, because Red Hat Enterprises is a free Linux distribution, but they pay. It is a very big influence in the server space and cloud space, and it's Microsoft's main competitor for the Azure platform. Now, this service is called Azure HD Insights, and it's like, I believe it's like BigQuery for Google. It's a big data service that runs Linux. Now, what's amazing is they partnered with Canonical, and even in the subsection here below the picture, it says, "Welcome to Satya Nadella's Microsoft. Gone are the days when Linux was treated like a cancer." And that's really true, and that goes to what I said in the last A.N.S Podcast, where Nadella is taking Microsoft into a new route and a new direction that is really going to push Microsoft into the future. And they know that Linux isn't a threat, but a tool. And it's really amazing. And in the article, it says, why Linux and not Windows? And Microsoft already has a Windows-based Azure platform. It has a Windows-based Azure HD Insight platform. So why did they need to offer Linux? So the article puts the answer to that. It's because of the market. The market is dictating Microsoft's actions. It's not using Linux, and I knew it's not using Linux because all of a sudden, we love Linux now. No, it's because of economics. It's because of money. They see the writing on the wall that, hey, Linux is taking away some of our market cap, and a lot of our platforms can't plug into that new moneymaker. Linux doesn't really have a higher authority or a company behind it. Canonical is one of the major Linux companies, and Microsoft wants a piece of the money pot, basically. It wants a piece of the pie when it comes to this money that is really untapped. Now, Microsoft wants this because it doesn't want to lose its own market cap. It wants them to seamlessly connect so there can be a share of revenue, because if Microsoft builds a wall and Linux has the existing platform and they just build a wall next to each other, there's no connection. If I have a Linux server, I can't plug into a Microsoft application, or I can't plug into a Microsoft service, and Microsoft sees that and they want to make a change. They want you to be able to integrate Linux and now the Azure platform, and that's really cool, and I believe Microsoft is going in the right direction. So the next article is about the AMD Catalyst 15.9 Linux driver. Now this article is a little dated. It was released on September 16th, so you might have heard about this already, but if you're an AMD user, there is a new driver out, 15.9, and I don't know, AMD seems to have a lot of issues on Linux when it comes to the graphical drivers. There seems to be a lot of problems. Even in the article, it says there are some user patches, as this new update only officially supports Linux kernel 3.19 and Xorg versions 1.17, which is kind of ridiculous. I believe those are very outdated. Aren't we on Linux version 4.0? That's kind of ridiculous, but there are some unofficial fixes and patches to get you on the latest version for the Linux kernel and the Xorg versions. So this new version of the AMD Catalyst fixes a lot of bugs. This new patch promises to fix crashes with companies of Heroes 2, Dirt, Showdown, and Dota 2. So that's good. If you're an AMD user, that's really good. And kind of to connect with that is AMD is working on a new Linux graphics driver to catch up with NVIDIA, because in my personal opinion, if you have an NVIDIA card and you're using Linux, you're going to have a much better time than if you're having an AMD card and trying to use Linux. It's almost really, it seems to be, I don't have an AMD card to actually test how bad it is, but it seems to be much more of a headache than NVIDIA is, and believe me, NVIDIA is pretty much a headache as well. So the final article we're going to talk about is kind of personal to me. I was at Maker Faire. You might have saw me. I was with the Steam Wagon. It was very fun. We had a great time, and we're going to go through a little bit of the 23 Editor's Choice winners from the New York Maker Faire. It was fun. It was awesome. There was some amazing projects there. They had amazing 3D printers. If you watch Your Average Consumer, I believe that's right, he did a great video. He was at Maker Faire as well, and he had a great video on a new 3D printing station by HP where you could scan stuff in, cool stuff. So there I am with the Makerspace team, and this is a mobile makerspace. So the Steam Wagon is a mobile makerspace. It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. Inside there's a 3D printer, a drill press, a vinyl cutter, a CNC router, crazy things like that. It's amazing inside, and I'll even have a link below to their Indiegogo page. They're trying to get funding. Right now it's only in the 5 boroughs of New York, but if you live in this area and you want to back it, I'll leave a link to their Indiegogo campaign in the description below. So that's going to be it for this A.N.S Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. As always, my name's Anthony Suarez. Please rate, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.